Welcome back, everybody. Today we have the KGB Legend Reborn. It's the Legend Blank from KGB Swimbaits. I'll put a link in the description below to their website. At the very beginning, you've seen I had just finished putting on a white base coat. I wasn't going to show you all that. It took a few coats because it's a resin bait and it kind of soaks it up a little quickly. At this point now, I'm just putting on a pearlized top coat over that. It'll give it a good shimmer and shine in the water, especially with the pattern that we're going to be doing today. Something a little bit different. I didn't want to just keep doing the same thing that everybody else is doing over and over again. Now, I've seen a lot of people fish this blank just as a blank, and they've been doing great on it. It's basically like a bone color, but I wanted to paint mine up. I like to paint lures, so obviously I was going to do something on it. So here I'm putting over a fabric that's going to lay out the pattern for the pattern that's going to be on the back of the bait. I originally was going to do just a simple shad pattern, basically something like what they would sell and what I've seen a lot of other people painting up for this bait, but I kind of got into that. I started back from scratch. I sanded down what I did and redid a base layer. And I'm gonna do something completely different with this bait, something funky and different and fresh, something I've never seen before in the way that I'm doing it. So in here in the cup, I was just mixing a little bit of reducer in with my gold because I've said it in other videos before, the pearlized colors tend to be a little thicker and they tend to clog my needle a little bit more. So when I thin them out, they seem to flow a little bit better and they don't clog as much. So I've gone across the back with a light layer and then across the shoulders and down the side of the bait a little bit with this pearlized gold. So I just darkened up the shoulders and across the top to where I wanted them, faded it down the side of the bait a little bit more. And then here I'm going to go ahead and darken up the top area of the bait because I'm not going to have a whole lot of coverage on the top. I'm going to do it a little thinner and a little more slim down the back, rather than bringing it down and over the shoulders, because I want this bait to be a lot brighter on the side, especially for darker water. I'm just setting it with the heat, using the hair dryer just to kind of lock it in before I go messing with it and touching it and taking the pattern material off. And once I get this off, you'll be able to see the pattern. There it is. That's the pattern we're going with. A little funky, a little crazy. I mean, I guess basically I'm doing like a gold shad, something champagne shad. Did a little gold under the eye sockets, and now I'm going in with some of the black and doing the eye details, and I'll go ahead and do a little detail into the mouth, and then I'll stripe the back. And like I said earlier, I'm definitely going a lot thinner and a lot more narrow on the back than a lot of things where I wanted to fade more down the sides and darken the bait up. I wanted to leave this really light on the sides of the bait. Hit it with the hair dryer because I'm going to be touching the bait and moving it around. It's going to be a little more hands-on from this point, doing the details. So I lay it out, and one thing I do that just kind of makes things easier, I just lay some masking tape over the fins, especially if they're a little bit bolder or a little bit more defined. It's pretty simple to do it that way, and I'll just take that black lightly and kind of ghost around the edges of the fin, and I'll set that because I'm going to have to flip it and I don't want that to smear. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. And as you can see now, especially with it laying on its side, the sides of the bait are real light and bright. So I feel like in darker water, when the light hits it, it's really going to flash and brighten up, and it should be able to call them from a little further away. But yeah, that's it. Just a little bit of darkness around the edge of the fins, and pull it off, and there they are. Right here, I didn't get the fin, so the very bottom of it, so I just kind of darkened that up a little. And I put a little dark on the back fins, maybe bring a little more contrast to the rear and attract to them. And then right here, I'm just kind of plotting out where I'm going to put the shad dot, kill dot, whatever you want to call it. I just did something kind of small and simple, not a perfect circle, kind of a oblong shape from a weird stencil I have. It's basically the same one that I used on the S-Waver video that I did recently, the ghost pattern. And then I'm going to pull off the mask for the eyes, and I'm going to take the airbrush and just go lightly around the eyes, kind of darken up that eye well a little bit, and get a little bit of black on the eyes, kind of tone them down just a touch. And so right here off camera, I'm kind of trying to get the tape started a little bit to take the tape off the tail. I put tape on the tail just to kind of cover it from any overspray. But this is something that I wanted to do on this bait that I've noticed on some of the shads that have kind of a darker edge around their tail. This just kind of has a white bristle tail, and I'm just going in with a little black. Whether it's going to stay or not, I don't know, but I figured I'd give it a shot, just kind of darken it up, give it a little more contrast, and frame the tail in just a little bit. And as you can see, now we're on to the clear. I'm kind of hanging it and holding it weird, a little more different than usual in some of the other videos, and that's because with this bait I want to really make sure that I don't get any of that UV clear down in that joint. But it looks pretty good, it's hanging. I'm gonna check for drips, and then here it is in the UV curing box. And from this point, it's pretty much good to go. I just had to hang it, let it dry all the way, and now we can check out the final product. Check it out.